Hi, I'm Cassandra Parton, Managing Director with NextTech Learning. Welcome to NextTech's weekly live broadcast, where we share relevant updates to help you implement successful employee development methods. In today's broadcast, I'm joined by one of our senior technical traders, Gordon, in a conversation about some of the new challenges IT are currently facing and what businesses and users can do to guard themselves and how to best manage their clients and data in this work from home environment. Gordon is an experienced technical trainer and a Microsoft certified trainer for over 20 years. And currently Gordon works with NextTech Learning as a learning and development advisor, as well as continuing his training portfolio. Welcome to our broadcast, Gordon.
Thank you, Cassandra, and welcome to everybody listening in. The current situation with COVID-19 is heart-wrenching for millions of people around the world, imposing great sacrifices, particularly with home isolations and work from home scenarios. But for IT, lots of organizations have been supporting remote users for many years now, and organizations that have already embraced cloud technologies are better placed to weather the current changes. For these organizations, the main change has been the scale of the remote users, coupled with a greater reliance on cloud and collaborative technologies. Technologies such as Microsoft 365 and Teams that are providing many new and different opportunities for education, for various businesses, their employees, and their customers.
Okay, that sounds amazing, Gordon. So what does this mean for businesses who are not yet working with Microsoft 365, for example?
Well, for a start, Cassandra, Microsoft are currently offering an Office or Microsoft 365 E1 plan free for 6 months. And if you're in education, there is a Microsoft 365 A1 education plan available also.
Free for 6 months. That sounds interesting.
True. And in the E1 plan, which includes 18 different services and features, each user gets a 50 gig mailbox, including calendaring. They get a terabyte of storage. There are websites and document libraries available through SharePoint. There's scheduling and meeting capabilities via Microsoft Exchange and Planner. And of course, there's Teams, a fully featured collaborative application, which grew from 44 million users in mid-March to over 75 million daily active users by the end of April. And there's also a freemium version, trying to get that out. There's a freemium version of Teams available for individuals.
Okay, so wow, can we just kind of cover back on that? You said 44 million users mid-March.
That's correct.
To 75 million users daily at the end of April.
And growing exponentially.
That's insane. So look, that sounds like it's great for businesses, Gordon. So what about the employees who may be new to working from home, and what has really changed for these people?
All of these remoting and collaborative capabilities are great for the work from home users. But those users also now need to be aware that their work from home environments are not necessarily as secure as their offices. Therefore, there is an even greater onus on users to be more security aware.
Definitely. So look, we can all relate to that, right? So how exactly do these security risks at home differ from the office, and how can they really be managed?
Well, working from home is different from working from the office. In the work environment, your PCs are highly secured, they're regulated, they're managed devices. The home environment, on the other hand, is now basically the Wild West as far as corporate management has been concerned in the past. However, there are lots of things users can do to aid security in their home. Some of those things include do not share passwords. Now, these are something that we see quite often in the home environment with just limited number of PCs, multiple people jumping on to browse the internet, etc. So one of the things you do need to be aware of these days is that if you're working from home, you're now working with corporate data in that home environment. So please do not share passwords with other members, right? Try and get different profiles on your machines for different users, right? And keep your work and your personal data separated. Another thing you can do is change all of your default passwords. right? Particularly on devices such as your Wi-Fi modems and your home routers. And whenever you leave your PCs, please make sure that they're locked.
Something that we take for granted. We forget to do that. You walk away and go to the next room, and all of a sudden somebody else has jumped on. And
that's true, but these days, particularly, we need to be aware that if we've got some spreadsheets open, etc., that could be sensitive corporate data. The other thing we need to be aware of is that hackers are becoming a lot more sophisticated. Right? Gone are the days where we could get these emails from Nigerian princes telling us about our unexpected inheritance, which could easily be recognized as spam. Those days are gone. Hackers are now a lot more sophisticated, right? We're now getting fake emails from co-workers, and hackers are making millions of dollars from tampering with invoices, supposedly from things like our electricity and gas bills.
Wow.
In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a report in papers that the police in Sydney had arrested 2 people over a $2.5 million construction company invoicing scam.
Wow.
Having said that, though, the best thing that users can do is always have a suspicious mind whenever they're online, whenever they're on social media, whenever they're viewing emails or browsing the internet.
That's 100% true, Gordon. I think, we all need to be ready for that. And if you do see an email that says, from the CEO or the managing director, and it says,
yes.
Hi, blah, I need you to do something for me.
Yes.
Maybe just pick up the phone and call them and just triple check and make sure.
We've all received those, and they're becoming very pervasive these days. Now,
Yeah.
one thing, get into the habit of just checking where the email is coming from. Just check the address that it's coming from.
No, that's a really good point, because I think a lot of people just see that email of, the managing director has emailed me, they've asked me to get something done.
Yes.
But maybe just triple checking and just checking where that actually has come from is a really good point. So, no, look, that's 100% true. What advice would you have or do you have for remote users on protecting themselves online?
Well, protecting themselves online, as I said, the stuff that we've already been through. But the best security tool is adequate training and a heightened sense of security awareness. Some simple things that the users can do, as we mentioned before, was don't share the passwords, lock their PCs. They can use multi-factor authentication if they're accessing any sensitive data. And of course, keep that sensitive mind that we've mentioned, the suspicious mind that we mentioned earlier on. Now, it's important for users to understand that security these days is not just dependent upon their IT staff. It's also dependent upon the users themselves, right? Because it's only through education that users and businesses can truly understand what is needed to protect both themselves and their data properly.
Yeah. Okay. So, Gordon, we've spoken about how organizations can protect themselves with, their data and kind of locking and password protection and what have you. But what about mobile phones? A lot of people have just taken their laptops, their phone, their PC,
Yes.
and literally moved it into their home office and gone, I can make it work. How can businesses secure their work applications and data across other devices like mobile phones and iPads and the works?
Yeah. And that is true. We've got the era of BYO devices, bring your own devices. So the laptops and the mobile phones and their iPads, etc., they're used to working in their home environment. They're now bringing into their work environment as well. And that's true. They need to be protected as well. And you'll find that most organizations, we've had this change from trying to protect the device now to more granular approach, in that we're protecting the applications and the data rather than the devices themselves. When we look at the laptops, Windows 10 is probably the most common client platform for most businesses.
Right.
It's got over 1 billion active installations in over 200 countries these days. So you would hope that those devices are secure. And they are. Yeah, if you look, there was a previous quote on a previous slide that Macs outpaced Windows PCs in the number of threats detected per endpoints by more than 2 to 1.
Wow.
So that just goes to show that Microsoft really are serious about security on Windows 10.
It's really interesting. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah.
Hmm.
For years, Microsoft have followed the mantra protection, detection, and response,
Hmm.
with a substantial number of client security features such as secure boot, BitLocker encryption, inbuilt biometric authentication support, browser and application policies. There's a new approach to updates, as well as a heavily beefed up Microsoft Defender and its inbuilt virus and threat protection systems. From a corporate perspective, security and end user access can be further increased by using corporate applications that are either browser-based or are available across many different platforms. For example, the Apple Macs and iOS devices you mentioned earlier, Android and Linux devices as well. All of which these days can be managed through multiple security and application policies through various management tools such as Intune and the new Endpoint Manager. And finally, businesses and their clients can take advantage of the end-to-end encryption and security philosophies of Microsoft Azure and other cloud providers for their data storage and access needs. And of course, we still need to rely on those Microsoft 365 features we've already mentioned.
Definitely. That sounds really interesting, Gordon. So after all this, where do you see the future of IT?
Well, it's actually a bright future. I know we're currently living in a time of extremely fast-paced changes in our society, changes that are affecting all of us and having a major effect upon all of us. But with the current government and corporate incentives available to us at the moment, new opportunities are actually presenting themselves in the IT world. And it's important that we adapt and upskill to be better prepared for this future. The concept of remote users, and particularly the work from home scenarios, have had a massive boost lately. But even after things settle down, our work environments are still going to be permanently changed. Therefore, for IT users in particular, we're going to need to learn to adapt to take advantage of these many new opportunities presenting themselves.
Thank you, Gordon. I definitely agree. There's really no going back to normal, is there? We can really notice this as a training company, and we're continually upskilling teams to manage working environments or transitioning to cloud, for example. So, you know, that back to normal terminology, I think that's wishful thinking.
That's true. Well,
yeah.
it's going to have some aspects of normality, but it's not going to be the same as before all of this started.
That's right. There's definitely going to be a new normal. So talking of which, I'd like to highlight to you all that NextTech are running 2 extremely discounted fundamentals training sessions on Microsoft Azure. Fundamentals and Microsoft 365 fundamentals as well. So the stock standard pricing of these courses is $890. So we will share the details below on how you can book into these courses for only $150. NextTech is offering all of our courses online. So all Microsoft training is now half price until the end of June this year. So don't hesitate to give us a call and have a chat with our team. Also feel free to visit our website and download our entire course brochure. We've got everything on there, all dates and what have you as well. And as I mentioned earlier, everything is all delivered online. So thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Gordon, for being our guest. We really appreciate it. And we hope to see you all in next week's live broadcast. More information will be shared on social shortly.
All right. Thank you, Cassandra. And thank you, everyone listening in.